This presentation is an overview of a 5-step procedure for creating narrated videos of PowerPoint presentations. In addition to interactive and continuous videos of the presentations, we'll create a transcript. The instructor can use the presentation in class, and the students can study from the videos, transcript, and the PowerPoint file. This presentation falls in the content creation portion of our class. We'll see how to create video content. The first step in the process is to create a PowerPoint presentation. I try to follow good PowerPoint style and use images and an occasional video or audio recording more than I use text and bullet points. I use a standard format for all my presentations. Each one begins with a 2-slide header that lists the skills and concepts to be presented and shows where the presentation falls within our top-level class outline. That's followed by the body of the presentation, typically around 10 slides. The presentation ends with a 3-slide footer, a summary of the presentation, self-study questions, and links to supplementary resources. I also standardize on style elements. For example, my slide titles are always 32-point Calibri type. I use the slides for a live presentation in class before making the video. That gives me a chance to revise them based on student questions and comments. Next, I write a script for the video narration. I tried it without a script at first, simulating a class presentation, but I found that I couldn't do it. There were too many pauses, ums, and false starts. Perhaps a more professional announcer could do it without a script, but I found that I couldn't. I write the script in the notes section of each PowerPoint slide. As I write the script, I often find myself revising the slide or perhaps adding a new one. In addition to serving as a script, the slide notes are a transcript of the presentation that the students can study from. I type the script in 20-point Calibri, which is big enough for me to use while recording and small enough to be used in the transcript. When the slides and script are finished, I save the PowerPoint file to use in the presentation and save the individual slides to use in the video. I save the slides in the PNG image format. Next, I use an open source audio editor called Audacity to record and edit the presentation soundtrack. You can think of Audacity as being an audio editor in the same way as you think of Word as being a text editor. For example, you can select, cut, paste, and move portions of the recorded audio just as you can cut, paste, and move portions of a written document using Word. If you're not familiar with audio editing, pause the presentation to look at the screenshot. The Windows command menus are at the top of the screen. Below that, you see the typical recorder buttons. And the lower portion of the screen shows a timeline with a 4-second recording. I've selected half a second of sound, which I can cut, paste, or move. You can also do things that are specific to audio data, like increase or decrease the volume of a passage. I use Audacity to record the script, leaving a gap between each slide. Then I go back and edit it, removing any false starts, and leaving between 1 and 2 seconds of silence between each slide. When it sounds good, I save the audio in WAV format. At this point, I have copies of each slide saved as a PNG image and the soundtrack saved as a WAV file. I use a video editing program called Camtasia Studio to combine them, creating a narrated video of the presentation. I make 2 versions of the video. One is a normal continuous video that can be uploaded to YouTube or any other video site. The other is a small web page that appends a table of contents to the video, enabling the viewer to jump from slide to slide. That web page can be uploaded to any web server. If Audacity and Camtasia Studio are new to you, you'll have to spend time playing around with them. Each has many options, and each uses the same basic timeline user interface. If you're not familiar with video editors, pause the presentation and look over the Camtasia user interface. As usual, the program command menus are at the top of the window. There are 2 panels below that. On the left, we see icons for the content that will be used in the video, 11 slides, and the audio soundtrack. On the right, we see the slide that is at the current cursor position. Across the bottom, there's a timeline with the audio soundtrack. We position the slides in the timeline just above the audio. At this point, I've added the first 2 slides to the timeline. I'll add the remaining slides one at a time, stretching them to coincide with their portion of the audio. This is easy because you can see the 1 to 2 second pauses between the slides. The final step is easy. Import the PowerPoint presentation into Word to create a presentation transcript. After a class presentation, the students can study from the PowerPoint file, transcript, and videos. These materials can also be used for self-study in an online class. I outlined a 5-step process for creating a narrated video and transcript of a PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint file can be used for a live presentation in class, and the students can study from it and the other material. I use Audacity and Camtasia Studio, but you could do the same sort of thing using other audio and video editors if you have and are familiar with them.